Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Open for Business, the program where I network with business owners, the bosses in charge of the startups, storefronts, and services in the Southwest. Our entrepreneurs are educating you on how they impact our community, and they're here to give you insight into their ideas. Let's add some new contacts today. I'm a madman when it comes to being an ad man, and my next guest has the same type of charisma for costumes, characters, but most importantly, customers. Tucson Appliance is your local leader for all things appliances and has been for over 30 years. Family owned and operated, Bill Edwards opened Priority Appliance in 1991. Soon after it was created, Bill's son Chris came on board and in 1997 officially became a partner in the business. This new partnership brought significant changes, including the official change to the store we all know and love today as Tucson Appliance. And today, I'm fortunate enough to speak with Chris Edwards of Tucson Appliance. Chris, welcome to Open for Business.
And yes, we are definitely open for business, let me tell you.
So just you walking in here has been quite the delight. I've been happy to meet you. And it's really a big deal to get to know you because I have some similar styles when it comes to being kind of a wacky guy in town and doing what it does to get a business off the ground and get that attention, especially involving superheroes.
Yes, and I love what you do. I'm going to have you over at my store. I might have to maybe have you on one of my commercials because it looks like you dress up like I do, and kids love that stuff.
Yes, wearing costumes and getting out there and being very charismatic is certainly a way to get all that attention. And you've been doing all of that for years. Again, I famously know you as Scratch and Dent Man back in the day. You were doing that one. You even got a brand new one with your son where he's playing Superman. It's a super summer because that movie's coming out.
That's for the tariff monster. He's fighting the tariff monster, yeah.
Brand new. And that's the other thing is like really staying up to date on all these things that are going on in the world and not being afraid to address them and kind of take them on head on.
And it's funny that you bring up Scratch and Dent Man because I remember that one is actually a side push of Batman.
Yes.
And what it was so bad that Sports Illustrated picked it up as one of the worst commercials ever. And you know how much attention that got? You know what? Any advertising is good advertising. And let me tell you, we sold tons of appliances at that time. That's a true story.
Did they really say that? No kidding.
No, they had it on their website, 100%.
Wow. I mean, I will say, it's famous, if not infamous. I mean, the Scratch and Dent Man one was amazing. You've done a new Batman since that. Was your son Batman?
My son is going to the University of TAC, and it's a 15-year college. So he's about 6 years in right now, and now I'm having him do his own commercials. So the last two he's done by himself, written up, produced, got dressed up, and he actually let me be in one of them. The last one, I wasn't even here. He did it all on his own. That Superman fighting the tariff monster. It's I'm so proud of him.
That's incredible. And you should be proud of him because, again, as a generational family business, that's important. Taking it from your dad and now giving it to your son. I remember when the logo changed and you
there's
added
no giving from anybody.
Okay, go. That's a good point.
It's always on the job training.
That's right. And earning it.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. So the University of TAC, of course, is the University of Tucson Appliance.
So, I was going to ask, a 15-year college. Go on.
I give him a lot of challenges on a daily basis. He's in my advertising meetings. He was going to come to this thing. I asked him, do you want to come to this? He says, no, I've done enough lately. I said, okay, I'll go do it by myself. That's fine because, he's in the hiring and the firing, and I'm just one thing after another, and so proud of the way he runs the warehouse. He's also a warehouse manager.
Okay. That's a lot of responsibility. Now, what was he interested in doing this from like a young age as part of a family business owner?
Oh, I love that question that you asked. And I thought that he was, and I wasn't sure. He was going to a private school at the time. His mother wanted him to go to college. So he went to the U of A for a semester, and I don't think he ever went to class. He said, Dad, wouldn't you rather me be with you? I said, get over here. I'll teach you everything you need to know.
That's awesome.
That just made me so happy and proud.
I imagine it must have, because that is such a big deal. And I think it's a big part of what makes it special, obviously. Let's talk about the business itself. And let's talk about you, because firstly, real quick, where is Tucson Appliance? Let's just get it right out of the way.
4229 East Speedway, just west of Columbus on the north side. Boy, that sounded like a commercial. 520-881-1207. Or try calling the owner of a big box store, Chris Edwards. 520-979-1377 is my personal cell number.
That's the spirit. And I'll give you all that in the recap. And that is some of my question. I've always wondered this as I look at businesses where you've got, and I always think of the boutique that sells clothing. How do they compete with all these chain clothing stores in the mall? And when it comes to what you do, as I've watched over the years, there goes Circuit City's going to go out of business, yet Best Buy kind of stays. Barnes & Noble's still around, but Borders went away. where some of these bigger box stores are suffering and left. You're still here. How do you compete with big box stores, both throughout history, but even today?
So being the owner of my own store, being, I'm able to make my own decisions. People can call me with a problem or an issue, and I get it taken care of right away. My word of mouth is our best advertising compared to the commercials. People they rave about us because we do what we say what we're going to do, and that's how I've brought my company to where it is today. We have a problem with something. It's had 1 or 2 or 3 service calls, and they call and they talk to me. I change it out. No questions. I'll get it fixed. I'll work with a warranty, but at least give me a chance to fix it first. If it doesn't get fixed, I take care of it. And a big box store is not going to do that for you.
No, a lot of them have their rules that they treat like laws, and a lot of those people that might be managers really can't make decisions for themselves because they have some higher up that's in a higher up that's in a higher up, probably in a different state. And even as a business owner myself, small business owner, like a lot of the times when it comes to someone asking about a price or something, I'm like, yeah, we just change it. I'm not a corporation. I'm just one guy. And that always instantly makes them feel comfortable. A lot of people think they're calling some big corporate thing, but like, no, I'm just a guy. So anything you need, let me see if we can make it work. And often I get it done because that's how you can do it.
So the other thing that I do is I actually go to events. I'm personally out there in the public, talking to people, taking pictures, saying hi, and I'm a man of my word. I give them my card with my cell number, and I take care of the people. But I'm at a lot of events publicly. I've been here all my life, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, you do a lot in the community, which I think is a big important part of a lot of our local businesses. Plenty of people that do, but you definitely do a lot. Tell me about some of these great partnerships that you got.
Well, I'll tell you that the partnership that I have with our community is they call me when they're in need. The churches, the families in need, they need a washer, a dryer, a range, a refrigerator, the schools. I donate to all of them.
Wow.
It's really hard for me to say no because we also have a little bit of something for everyone. We have reconditioned appliances, scratch and dent, new, and high-end. So we have a little something for everybody. So sometimes I'll donate a reconditioned appliance that's in good condition, always take care of them, or I'll give them a brand new one or a scratch and dent. We also do about 80% of all the apartment complexes in Tucson. So the lower-end appliances we also have. So we do the onesie twosies. They need a refrigerator, we deliver it, pick it up, and then recondition the other one and go from there. But we have plenty of product, over an acre full of appliances.
I saw on the website. Actually, you can check it out, TACappliance.com, and you can go see everything that's going on. A lot of the storage, a lot of commercials, which I like that we were talking about, and I bet that's even a lot of that word of mouth is for those commercials because there's even a spot on there we can look up a lot of your commercials. It goes right to your YouTube page, and that's super fun that I get to check out some of those because that's where I found a lot of this.
Yeah, there's this one that says Tucson Appliance. I don't know if you're looking at it, right next to the Super Corbin. Corbin also did that one by himself. It's a 3-minute commercial. Most people haven't seen that one, but that shows our entire inventory, and he does such a phenomenal job. He knows our company inside and out. I think I've taught him pretty well.
Well done.
Or he just watches me.
Something like that. It might be in his genes. But that's the trick, is that I was watching that commercial and seeing how much of an acreage that you do have for all that stuff. You're not waiting for all that stuff that's shipping in. You still have plenty of inventory before those tariffs hit, which is probably even pretty good too for as far as getting a good deal here in Tucson. But now let's talk a little bit about you as a person. Growing up, what did you want to do, and how did you get into the business that your father started?
Well, that's a fairly long story because, number one, I was adopted. And then I didn't move in with my dad till I was 13, and he already had another family. They were all growing up with him.
Yeah.
So I came in late, but I always wanted to be like my dad, an entrepreneur, a business owner. And, I just thought it was so cool, and that was my dream. And I wasn't really good at school, and I'm still not good at school. But I hire people smarter than me at certain areas. But I'm also a workaholic. When it came to finding and figuring out stuff, I'm a salesman. Hi, my name is Chris Edwards. I sell appliances just like my good old pal Jim Click. And I know he sells cars.
Yeah.
But so I'd work on the weekends with him, while going to school. None of the other kids wanted to do that because it was hard labor. And then when he got divorced, and then in '91 he bought a service company, and I was a bar back at Cactus Moon. He came and got me and had me work with him in the service department, and we built it to Tucson Appliance by probably '95. But it was actually Priority Appliance still. I didn't get to change the name and become a partner until '97.
Right.
And I turned the colors to purple and gold also, which are very, familiar. You see my trucks all over the place. Those are my Sabino High School colors, by the way.
Oh, is that why I was going to ask where you get those colors from? There you go.
But anyway, so I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I like being the boss, and I've done everything that, in the company, so I know what my employees should be doing, which is a lot of fun.
That's amazing. And again, it's that street smarts go a long way. You might not have been good at arithmetic, but when it comes to, making friends, making your way in the community, and then just learning how business works, hey, that's what it takes sometimes.
It's all about relationships, too.
Yes.
And like I said, the word of mouth, taking care of customers, people, everybody. And that's just the person I am. If you know who I am, then you know that's exactly who I am.
And that's the idea, is I want people to kind of get to know who you are and not remember you from supposedly the worst commercial ever. Yet it's the one I remember. It's the one I talk about. When I said, my next guest, you never get it. It's Scratch and Dent Man. And a lot of people knew immediately if I said your name or if I said a different thing,
they
were
knew
like,
who it was, yeah.
And then they go, Scratch and Dent Man. Oh, I know Scratch and Dent Man. So funny.
Oh, my God.
Yes. So like I say, infamous as much as famous. But now let's find out a little bit about what do you actually do day to day? Because just tell me, what does an average day for you look like?
All right, well, we'll start in the morning. I get up about 3:30 in the morning. I get to the office about 4, and I start going through the banking, and I do all the important stuff that I need to get done so that I make sure I get ready for the day, check inventory, receivables, stuff like that. Then I go shower, shave, come back, and then, and then then I go back to the office and I let everybody know how the day is going to go or find out what they're doing. And then I can spend the rest of the day doing whatever I want, going wherever I want, spending time with you right now.
Not bad. Let me ask you this. What time do you go to bed?
I go to bed probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30.
Still, yeah, I'm going to say that's not exactly, forget it, but 3-ish, you're out of your mind, but not too shabby.
No,
not too shabby.
I get enough sleep, I think.
Yeah, see, I'm addicted to workahol myself. I'm a workaholic, so I understand it. Nothing,
I like that.
Nothing like, getting up early doesn't mean that you're tired when late night comes. Sometimes you're still in the middle of a project and you got that energy.
And I will tell you, if I'm going out for an evening event, sometimes I will go home and take a nap for an hour.
There you go.
Because, I do go to a lot of galas and events and charity events during the weeks and the weekends and stuff like that. I just can't do it sometimes. I have to make sure that my body's ready to stay up till 2, 3 at night.
Well, good. Self-care is important. And I'll tell you what, let's talk about your health for a second, because when you walked in here, you got a little bit of a bandage on. What are you dealing with? Because it's kind of important.
Well, I will tell you that growing up in Tucson all my life, I was a tennis player, and I didn't really care to wear sunscreen. And the cancer guy got me, and now I finally, 40 some odd years later, decided to go to the dermatologist. And right now I've got 5 spots that I've had cut already. This is my 5th one that they've done. And it's because I'm light-skinned, and I didn't go to the dermatologist and get it taken care of in a quicker manner, but get it taken care of. Make sure you get it looked at. You never know what that spot is. And I didn't. It looked like just a piece of dry skin. They said, no, that's cancer. I said, oh, well, I better get that taken care of.
Really?
And then next thing you know, like I showed you, on my forehead, they cut out, it looked like a golf ball was stuck in my head.
Yes.
Literally.
That's wild.
And so you should get it taken care of, you guys. And right now, my nose it looked like, to me, they got a hole puncher and hole punched my nose.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, that's wild. And now, as of right now, are you cancer-free right now?
Yeah. Yep. Until they find more. I have to go back to my dermatologist. She'll find more. From time to time, they cut my ear here to check it.
Yeah.
So they have to get a biopsy on it and then go from there. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go get a facelift.
It's ridiculous. Well, I wouldn't lift a thing personally. But when I do say this, all right, I'm only rooting for your health, but listen to his advice, gentlemen. All right, it's mostly you guys
and ladies,
that have the problem going to the doctor,
right?
There
you go.
It's a lot of guys. I talk to doctors a lot, and they always say it's these guys that are a little more less likely to go to the doctor.
We're like Superman.
Yeah, but you ain't, especially
exactly,
not against.
We're not.
We're not powered by the sun like he is, actually. In fact, it's not good for us all. So make sure you go to the doctor, all right? Listen to this man here, because he's not just selling you fine appliances, he's giving you good advice. Look at that. You don't want to wind up like Two-Face right there in that commercial.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I was going to ask you this, but it was like a guess. Who is your favorite superhero? I assume it is Batman.
No.
Who's your favorite superhero?
It's not. It's the Hulk.
Is it the Hulk?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. The Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
Why do you think your favorite superhero is the Incredible Hulk?
He's the first one, the first commercial that I did, and the first superhero that I just thought was Bruce Banner. Like us humans, we all, if you look at it, we all transform. We all evolve. Not that we're all going to turn green and big and huge, But I did my Rocky commercial. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, and I was going to compliment you shirtless and looking good.
And yeah, I got my six-pack. That was about 8 or 9 years ago, and now I got a nice little dad body.
Few too many six-packs.
But it is what it is. And, we all life transform you, and that's what the Incredible Hulk is to me. And it seems like he's always for the good, whether he's smashing things or not.
Right.
Yeah, and like Rocky was probably my best one that I've ever done because that took me 6 to 8 months to get prepared for.
Wow.
I got my six-pack, I dieted, and I did that just for myself. And when I did, Rocky, I grew up to Rocky.
Yes.
He's a superhero to me.
Yeah, and he is. That was one of the greatest films of all time. One of my other favorite things, written, starring, and directed by the same guy. People forget Sylvester Stallone wrote that film.
Yes.
It's not just that he is like Rocky. That's quite the thing to write, and won an Oscar for it. I love looking up to every men like that do a lot. The artists, makers, movers, and shakers, like Stallone right there. You're doing that in this town with a lot of what you do. Again, being a business owner and going after it, being involved in the community and do what you can when you can. So that's always important. Let me ask you about some of the actual products and services, because you did go through it, that you offer almost 4 different styles of products, whether it's brand new, scratch and dent, reconditioned, or high-end. I love your high-end showroom. I got to see that right here on the website in that 3-minute tour video. Very, very nice. Tell us about the difference between these things and why it's so great to go to you.
Well, it's great because we have a variety. We have something for everyone. We're in one location. We have a concierge service that we can go on the internet and get your information, get your cell phone. We can text you pictures of what we have available, and we'll send you a payment link, and we'll deliver it the next day. Easy peasy.
That is easy peasy. That is a concierge service. That's amazing.
But our floor changes constantly. Model numbers change. The industry changes. And stuff like that. So that's the best thing that I could say without coming into the store for us to be able to help you with that. But yeah, the recondition, new, scratch and dent, and high end. But also we have low end. So we have that fifth thing because that's like the apartment stuff.
Sure.
The very inexpensive stuff that they will only go for price, but it's very basic. But some people only have that amount of money too.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, I was a small business owner that before I got what I do now, I had a brick and mortar and I got a free refrigerator from you guys. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why, again, I like having you on the show. I'm not just here to get, who's this guy? No.
You use
I've
me.
actually been to that. Yes, absolutely went there because it is top of brand when it's like, well, I do need appliances. Where am I going to go? All right, let me go right down the street. And
Some
see.
people want to feel and touch it and pull it and
On that
do
type
all
of
that.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's good. And we also have another, I don't know, in that 3-minute video, you also saw the Scratch and Dent studio. So we used to have a furniture store over there, but I'm not good at selling furniture. I'm good at selling appliances.
Okay, that's interesting because I was feeling like I remembered furniture stuff, but
Yep.
that's all done?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, and that's a part of it. That's a part of business and adapting and evolving. What's the biggest challenge that you have ever overcome as a business owner?
Figuring out finances and payroll and humans. There's a lot of people that are so different and trying to figure them out because they're so, sometimes you run into drama and you have to have a talk with them and understand who they are and what their beliefs are and what their dreams are because some people are misunderstood. And believe it or not, I like to find out who they are and what they're capable of doing. And that's probably the biggest thing is HR.
Okay, interesting. Absolutely. Are you in charge of HR?
No, thank goodness.
Is your accounting person in charge of HR?
Yes, my accounting person is, but I do mentor several people, and that's part of finding out and figuring out different options, the way that people are. Everybody thinks differently, sees things differently, feels differently, looks differently.
I've found that mentors are honestly like some of the most important people in my life as I've tried to achieve success. It is really important. I've always, you can try to work for yourself a lot, but sometimes that motivation's tough. But when you have a teacher, a boss, or a mentor, it really gets you motivated because you kind of have someone that you want to impress.
And you want to talk to them and get their ideas. And not all my ideas are right. Like
Sure.
I tell them, I say, this is my opinion. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm telling you how I feel or how I see it. And then we go over it, and I may be wrong, and it depends. And then we go from there.
That's interesting. So let's talk about a milestone that you're like most especially proud of. What is one of the biggest achievements you feel that you've had in your business career?
Well, I will tell you for me, myself, my dad passed away in 2010, and I would say I fully took over in 2013, and being able to run the ship to where I am today and to quadruple the business that we were doing, that's that's just been amazing. And also having my son want to come work with me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
And it does say even a lot about you, just who you are. Like, kids don't often want to do that sort of thing. Like, it really is about, like, again, I'm from Long Island. I got away from that from my parents. Real lickety split, you know? And like, that's an important part. How is it working with your son?
He's amazing. He's very intelligent. He does everything I ask him to do, whether he's uncomfortable or not. He dresses up and comes to events with me. He talks with people, buys them drinks. And he, if I can't make it to a breakfast meeting, he goes in my place. And because I've got probably about 4 different breakfast clubs that I'm involved in.
Wow.
And, I'm also involved in Rotary. And, getting involved in the community is what's important because, again, relationships, you know someone that knows someone that knows someone.
Oh,
I'm just glad a lot of people know me.
Yes. That was my next question, was because I want to talk about networking always on this show. And it's a big, important part of all this. And being a part of those clubs is important. A lot of people do not realize that it is just about getting out there, being seen, being friendly, going to community events, like going to the Rotary, going to these breakfast clubs. There's a lot of fun business groups, a lot of startup groups in town. If you want to get to know a lot of the people that are doing things here, you got to go to these meetings, go to these clubs.
Yeah, and there's one, that I would really point out that I think is doing very well is the Tucson Business Networking with Stacy Fowler.
Okay.
You would actually do well on that, as a matter of fact.
I'll look into that. In fact, I'll make a note of it when we're done here and make sure I don't forget. But that's really important. Tell me some other, important to you, what other groups or networking opportunities do you think are some of the best for business owners here in town?
Well, it also has to do with what your business is because a lot of them will only allow you in if you have a certain category. And there's only one category per. And for me, there's not that many appliance stores. I'm the only one that actually does anything in the community that I know of because the other people that they're a good company and they're also family owned, but I never see them anywhere doing community stuff. But there's let's see, the Southern Arizona Leadership Council is really, really big. Rotary downtown is really big, and those are 2 ones that I would definitely be involved with. And Tucson Business Networking. The Better Business Bureau actually is doing an amazing job. I don't know if you've gone to any of their events, but they do some really great events now. The ladies over there that are running it, I'm just so proud of and amazed at.
No kidding. See, this is why I'm talking. This is why I get to learn a lot just by having guests on. I hope these listeners are getting a lot of it too, because there's a lot to learn when it comes to business in Tucson. As I always say, Tucson is the baby bear's porridge. It's just right? So it's good for networking. It's good for all this. I know who knows, and you'll instantly find the thing that you're looking for.
And what you need to do is show up, have business cards all the time. I don't want to hear you don't have one. And hand them out, shake their hands, tell them what you do, run the room. That's how I got to where I am today. Yeah,
and run the room. I am never afraid to walk up to a table of people that are kind of meandering. They don't have a conversation going. I'll go ignite that conversation.
Yep.
You just can't be afraid because we're all kind of there. I know a lot of people are shy, so I'll try to use a little bit of I'm not shy. Let's help this whole group of people out. By asking what they do. I'm not there to pitch what I'm there to do, but eventually someone asks.
Right. And I was going to say also, depending on what your industry is in, like the Tucson Association of Realtors, I'm a member of that one because realtors need appliances. Mm-hmm. A Women's Council of Realtors. I just find out which ones to join that have to do with they have to purchase appliances for one reason or another or recommend my store.
Yeah. I believe that 3-minute video was even sponsored by a realtor, which is important.
Yeah,
because
it was, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's how neighbors work. That's how community works. We all got to help each other out. That is how this all works because it's all about networking, partnerships, and that's how businesses thrive. Where can people find you online in addition to what I just said, tacappliance.com? Do you have any Instagrams and Facebooks as well?
Yeah, Facebook is under Chris Edwards, and then Chris Edwards 6 for Instagram. I'm on Snapchat under Chris Edwards. I'm on TikTok. Also under Chris Edwards.
Are you on TikTok? How's your TikTok?
It's not that good. I'm trying. I got a long ways to go. I haven't done any really fun videos. I post pictures and videos, and I watch a lot of what they do, but I haven't had time to do those yet because you got to edit them and all that.
Oh,
I'm not into that yet.
Me neither. I'm not into it. I'm not the biggest.
I need somebody to hire me to do that. The commercials I could do. Yes.
Yes, it's different.
And I put the commercials on TikTok sometimes.
Which you do, right?
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
makes sense, and that's the way to do it.
They know who I am, but everybody's personalized with them. They send me messages all the time. I always reply. It's always me. I don't use any AI or have somebody else do anything on my Facebook I'm glad that you brought that up because every day I post 6 affirmations a day, and then I post a funny thing and then a beautiful picture.
Oh.
Just for people to, and sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't, depends on what it is. Sometimes it makes people go through their day.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, you should add me.
No, and you should. All right. So add him what's that at?
Chris Edwards.
There you
yes,
go.
definitely.
Because that's the man right here.
But I was talking to you, by the way.
I will. No, I mean that. I'm going to add you
All right.
because I could use that sort of thing. And that is good social media management. That is what you're doing. Getting an uplifting message or any of these fun things that people might need to see. It doesn't matter if it's coming from your local appliance legend, all right? It's still going to do something great for someone.
Yeah, and also, see, I do a lot of pictures. Like I'm going to post our picture up there today. And but the affirmations is, to be honest with you, it's top of mind advertising, and not a lot of people do what I do. They say, look, Chris is doing this again. Oh, look, Chris is well, what does Chris do? Chris is an appliance guy. So if I need appliances, guess what? That affirmation guy, I'm going to go buy from him.
There you go. All right. I have one lofty question, and then we're going to call it Define Success.
Gosh, I'm just going to pass away at work. Because I'm a workaholic and I love it. And it's hard to, I'm blessed to be in the appliance industry. I am successful at what I'm doing right now. And I'm very proud, happy, just joyous. And I'm real. And people can see that and feel that. I mean, if you ask me how I'm doing, ask me how I'm doing.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm wonderful as usual. And so because I am, and I present that because being in the appliance industry and where I'm at today, I'm able to take care of so many people in our community. And that's what makes me so happy.
That is amazing.
So that I am successful.
Yeah, I'd say so. You are successful, and I feel pretty successful too, because today we networked with Chris Edwards, owner of Tucson Appliance. If it plugs in, Tucson Appliance has your hookup. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Chris.
I love that.
Remember, Tucson Appliance is open for business.
Open for business is your priority.
That's the spirit.
Perfect.
What a great conversation with Chris Edwards. He is open for business at 4229 East Speedway. It is Tucson Appliance. Again, fellow madman when it comes to being an ad man. You can call Tucson Appliance at 520-881-1207 or give Chris a call directly at 520-979-1377. That's his cell phone. No big box store is going to give you that. They're doing a lot, and you can find out what they are doing at tacappliance.com. Follow Chris Edwards at Chris Edwards over on Facebook. Throw a 6 on there, I believe, for Instagram at Chris Edwards 6. You've also got Tucson Business Networking with Stacy Fowler is something that he recommended if you're trying to look to get your business a little more involved in the community. Also, the Southern Arizona Leadership Council, the Rotary Club, and the Better Business Bureau is throwing some great events that he was talking about. I'm going to make sure I look into some of that. And don't forget some solid advice, and it's good advice, even though it sounds so simple. Make sure you have business cards. Don't tell me you don't have business cards. That's what he says. And that's important. You don't want to look unprepared at any of these meets and greets. And it's so important to get out there, get involved in the community so that you know who you are dealing with when it comes to networking. So important to be a successful business person. You hear how Chris is doing it. We don't all have sons to work really hard to take over the business. No, you've got to go out there and meet people, find the right people to take over for you when it comes to things that you're not that great at. Like he's saying, hire the right people, hire the right folks when it comes to your business, and networking is certainly the way to do it. And I want to thank my new friend Chris Edwards for joining my network today. You've been listening to Open for Business. If you're a business owner that would like to be on the show, email openforbusinessradio@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, crankthehanktucson.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, or wherever fine podcasts are applying themselves. Follow on Facebook and Instagram at Best Frank Forever, because I'm your BFF, Frank Powers, and toot toot Tucson. I love you the most.